Today we're going to finish the Travis picking of the chords of Dust in the Wind. We've done the intro and the verse so far. Today we'll take care of the chorus and a little bit of a solo. Both are fairly short parts in terms of the number of chords we have. The main thing about this song is knowing how to Travis pick, having the pattern that we want. The basic idea is that we're alternating the thumb on the low two notes of a chord. On a C chord, for instance, we're playing the 5th and then the 4th string. On quarter notes, I mark them as quarter notes. In the books, these would actually be 8th notes, and the patterns would be 16th note patterns. But I count them as quarters with 8th notes in between. So the first beat has the pinch of the 5th string and the 2nd string usually. Beat 2 is the thumb on the 4th string, an answer with the index finger on the 3rd string. Those are the inside strings. Then we do the 5th string and the middle finger on the 2nd, the outside strings, and then the insides again, 4th and 3rd. So it's pinch, inside, outside, inside. You can do 99% of this performance just by knowing the chords. You could say we're going to go C, G over B, A minor, G, D minor 7, A minor, C, G over B, A minor, G, D minor 7, A minor. There I wasn't thinking of any of the idiosyncrasies of whether there's a pull-off or an open string here or there. Just by knowing the chords, you can actually play the song. Some of these little extra things like pull-offs and things like that, they're good to learn if that's how you hear the song, if they're really part of the song in your ear, or just because we want to learn more control over our hands. It's good not to stay on one pattern the whole time and have no adaptability. They're good to learn because we want to expand our chops. But sometimes just ignore them, just play the chords as you see them. In these videos I've been showing you the pull-offs or the alternate notes that they play just for accuracy's sake, but really to play the song those aren't totally necessary. Here I've just finished, I ran through the verse just as an example there. On one verse we end with the A, which walks us back into verse 2. That's my first ending here. The next time around we land on this A, which we talked about last time. And then we're on the D over F sharp. I mentioned that there's two ways to do a D over F sharp. You can play a D chord with your thumb on the F sharp note. Or you can use separate fingers in a classical style. I can get the D, the A, and the F sharp. I'm never sure how I'm going to play this. Today I believe I'll be landing this fingering. So here's A minor. We saw this already, so I won't go through it deeply, but I'm going to use the A finger to add that one high note. That's a melody note. Then I transfer into the inside of the chord in this bar. The reason that open is in brackets is in the tab, the note's there, but it's not really attacked. It's really an incidental. Because the guitarist is moving his hand toward the D chord, just incidentally coming off, you'll hear the note. You can practice it. As a technique that you're working on. If so, go over and over that move. Then move on. Notice the open note at the end of that D chord. Again, that's accomplished because the guitarist is switching into a G chord and holding the A note would have hampered that chord change. So you get the D with the open strings, G. This pull-off I never used to do. I just played a G chord. I wrote it out and I said I'm going to be on G here and A minor. But a few of my students really enjoyed it. They thought, no, that's actually vital to the song. So I'll put it in, let you see it, and practice it too. So here's the G. You've got a B note on the 5th string because you're in a G chord. And you remove it as you go toward the A chord. If I exaggerated the movement, you would have come off that note and into the air to make the A. But it's going to be smaller than that in real life. So once again, we finished a verse, came into this A minor with the high note, D with the open note into G, B pulls off to A into the A minor chord, normal pattern, then put a G note on the bass. We're walking our bass note down from open A to the G note, A minor over G, which you can't really see my repeat sign here, but that G note is descending us to the F sharp. So we had an open A, G to F sharp. So part of the fun of Travis picking is creating bass lines. Here it is again then, A minor with the A note, with the G note, to the F sharp note in the D chord, back to the G. Talk about bass lines. There's a 2 pulling off to the open, the B to A. The first move here has the pinch with the open string and hammer onto the C that we would have normally played on beat 1. We'd normally go 1, 2, and. Now we're going 1 and 2 and. They return to the open, a sus2 on the A, leaving that open for the next bar. So we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. These are longer than what we've seen before when we played this. Now it's DSL Coda. Usually for you guys I would just say just play again. I thought I'd use this again. DS del Segno sends us back to the Segno, the sign, or Segno, and we do our verse again, etc. Play our chorus again to the coda. So DS is El Segno to the coda. So when we get here, instead of playing this ending again, we will jump instead to an A minor in the solo. These guys were hard for me to learn by ear. Luckily I had tab. So we get an A minor with a 7, the A note, on the 4th string, and the 5 is the C note on the 3rd string. The pattern does not have a pinch at the beginning. I'll probably play a pinch just out of habit, but the pattern otherwise is the same. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and now a pinch as we repeat the bar. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Then we move right at the end from the 7, the A, to a G at the 5, so we can do a G chord. I've used this repeat sign telling us just to play the G bar again. So the solo has the A chord with a sus2, the open B, to the G, repeating. Take that chord and slide it down 2 frets. If this was G, this is F, but the open B is a sharp 11, so it's an F with a sharp 11. Then they add the 6, the F6, it has this D note. Just lay your finger, which is on this 3, down onto the 3 of the 2nd string, the D note, and retain your Travis picking pattern. Pinch, inside, outside, inside. Lift that tip off again, so you have the B note again. Slide back up and repeat. The chorus goes again, or the solo goes again. the song goes again. That's it. We will look at the melody next time. Take her easy, guys.